Alright, today we're going to be replacing the wiper arm transmission on this 2011 Chevy Equinox. Now keep in mind that these mechanisms are all pretty much the same or similar, so even if you don't have a Chevy Equinox, or a GM vehicle for that matter, this video may still help you out, so go ahead and watch through it to the end. I'm going to post a link to this AC Delco part down below, and I'll also post a link to some of the third-party brands which are a little bit less expensive. The other thing I want to mention here right up front is if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I would hope that you do so. That helps me out, and I appreciate everyone who subscribes. I enjoy all the feedback and conversations that we've been having on the channel. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, before we get started, I want to show you that when the transmission linkage is bad, the wipers will move really freely, okay? There are a lot of other reasons why wipers may not work. It could be as simple as a fuse. It could be the intermittent delay circuit. So before you buy the part, you want to diagnose the problem, and one of those things you could do is actually see how freely they move, okay? Let me get the camera on a tripod here and we'll start taking it apart. Alright, so we'll start by removing the wiper arms themselves. Okay, on this one it's a 15 millimeter, and you know, you want to keep track of which wiper arm goes on which side. On this vehicle at least they are different. We can get a look at that here in a minute. Alright, so these will just lift right off, but you may have to pull the wiper up a little bit because the arms sit down over a splined shaft. Okay, get a look at that here. Just show you real quick here that you can see the passenger side wiper arm has a little bit of a bend to it, so you'll want to just sort of take note when you remove them. Okay, now we're going to remove 4 of these trim buttons, and now again on your vehicle it may be slightly different, and I'm just going to give you a quick close-up so that you know when you remove the button itself, right, you're just going to separate this top piece from the actual base. And what happens is this, when it's pushed down like that, forces that outward and it is unable to compress. Usually you'll find a little spot for a slotted screwdriver that'll allow you to raise that cap, and I bought a whole bag of these because you do break them occasionally. So let's go ahead and get those removed. Alright, just to show you where they are here real quick, got one here on this strut mount cover, 2 in the center, and 1 more on the other side, okay? And just like that, and now you should be able to pry it out of there. This will just flip back out of the way. We've got to release the molding. Basically, you're going to pull on that molding and it releases it. And we'll get a closer look at that when we reassemble it. Okay. Just to show you real quick, these shock mount covers, they have these little clips and they kind of sit down inside of this fender, okay? So what we're going to do next, each corner here has a little bit of molding that sort of snaps into place, and I'll try to get you a shot of it, but you want to be cautious not to break anything. It's like a little puzzle piece. Let me put the camera down and we'll see if we can get a shot of what it looks like here. Alright, now this whole bezel piece should pop right out of there, okay? Move more light here. Nope. We've got to disconnect our washer fluid tube, which this one will pull apart right here, even one-handed. Alright, let me set this down and we'll take a closer look here at the actual transmission mechanism. Alright, let's take a quick look here. Now I've had this apart and I actually tried to replace the bushing with one of these Dorman help products. This is the original here, snapped off. And it's supposed to look like this right here, right? That's supposed to sit up there and press down over that part of the transmission. Obviously this is free moving. So there's our issue, okay? So I bought the Delco product, and I've got a link to it down below in the comment section and also in the description. But I'll also link to the aftermarket brands because they are a lot less expensive, okay? Alright, so we've got 3 10mm bolts here we're going to pull right there, right there, and right there, okay? And be careful not to drop any of the bolts down into the chassis of the vehicle. Alright, now at this point the whole mechanism can lift right out of here, and we have to disconnect the electrical connector, but I thought I'd give you a shot of it here. It's got a little, at least on this vehicle, it's got a little clip you've got to raise or pull back on it, and then it should come right out. Okay, let's go take a look at it here, make sure the new part matches. Alright, it looks like we have a match here. I'm fairly certain we have the right part. It's got a little extra plastic shielding here. The new one does. But I did want to show you too that you can Google your vehicle and see if you can get these plastic bushings. They didn't have one specifically for the Equinox, so I used a generic Dorman brand. And it was on there for a few weeks, and honestly it was used in wet, heavy snow. But I'm wondering if my mistake was that I didn't replace them all, and that the mechanism had too much play overall, right? Which would cause one to fail, but it's odd that it's the same one. Let's go ahead and get the new one installed, and then we'll test it out. Alright, everything goes back in reverse order here. I'm just going to drop this in. Alright, we've got these three 10mm bolts here. I'm just going to kind of speed through the reassembly, keep the video on the shorter side. I've explained that a couple of times recently. Alright, and you just want to tighten these down so that nothing falls off, but you don't want to break anything. Alright, we'll get our electrical connector here. Just kind of pop that back in. And make sure that it clips on the back side. Alright. Alright, what are we going to do right now? We're going to test it out. Right? We want to make sure that this is all functioning properly, that nothing's bound up down in here. And the other thing I want to do is make sure that I shut the wipers off properly, so that the wiper arms would then be in the parked position, so we'll know how to put the wiper arms back on. Alright, let's test it out real quick. Looks like it's working. Alright, let's continue to put it back together here. Alright, just to show you before we snap this back on here, these little pins drop into these holes. Okay, you've got three of them on this one, right up there in the corner, and in that corner over there. Alright, I just want to give you a quick look at the corner pieces here. I said they were like puzzle pieces, but they kind of snap into one another, and they also kind of overlap one another, right, to keep the water from flowing down in there. So you're going to want to get each corner done before you snap it all down, because you're going to want some movement, some play. Okay, I'm going to do these two pieces kind of off camera because I'm not going to be able to get a good shot of it anyways, and then we'll continue on. Okay, once you get the corners done, you're going to want to make sure that you push those white buttons in as much as possible. Then we're going to use our trim buttons here. I'm going to do the two center ones. And then I'll get you a shot of the corner ones here. Alright, next we need to reconnect our windshield washer fluid delivery hose. Drop this back down into place here. And then we're going to line these metal tabs up with these slots in the inside of the fender. Okay, then we have another trim button here. Okay, as far as the weather stripping goes, I said I'd give you a better shot of it. Let me zoom in on the camera here. Alright, so on the weather stripping, when we removed it, I said pull. Basically, we were pulling this hole off from this little sort of tab here. So the installation is going to be sort of the reverse. We're going to pull on this. I might need two hands. And then drop it over that tab. And I'm going to see if I can get you a shot of it. Kind of like that. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's just hooks in there. There's two more further up here, but I didn't disconnect them this time. I did it on the previous removal. And now I need to do the other side. Alright, so the same thing on this side here. Just going to drop that down. And the weather stripping, let's see if I can get you a little shot of it here. I won't zoom in on it this time. Okay, and then just check everything to make sure everything is where it needs to be. And what we're going to do next is reinstall the windshield wiper arms. And remember, when we ran our test, I parked them. I shut them off properly, so they should be in the parked position, so that we'll be good to go when we get them installed. Alright, we're just going to do our best here and put them in the parked position. We could always remove the wiper arm if it needs to be adjusted slightly. Okay, I kind of know where they were, but I did wipe the windshield down in hopes that this would make a better seal when we reinstalled it. So, and remember, the on this vehicle at least, the one with the bent arm was the passenger side. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of bending it up a little bit to get it on there. And let's tighten them down. That again was a 15mm nut on each one. So hopefully this video has been helpful. I was hoping that I'd be able to get out of it with just the $4.99 wiper bushings, but that didn't pan out. This wasn't too bad. This was less than $70, the AC Delco, and it came with a motor, which I wasn't expecting. Didn't need it either, but you know, again, hopefully this will be the last time I have to do this job on this vehicle. And again, with these, you don't want to strip anything, but you don't want it to fall off either, right? Okay. And again, if you found this video helpful, give me that thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I do a lot of auto repair, home improvement, ATV repair, you name it, I do it. And as I mentioned early on, I do appreciate my subscribers, and I enjoy having conversations with everybody. I enjoy the feedback. Let's test them out. That's what we really want to do, right? Alright, here's the moment of truth here. It's high speed, there's low. Just got myself in the eye with the windshield washer fluid, but that's alright. Everything seems to work. Thanks for watching. Give me that thumbs up if you found it helpful, and hit that subscribe button. Have fun.